wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB, get up, make every day count up. Wasted people, do your part, play around, get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in, WB. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling, WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, this the vibe we're dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that will feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling, WB. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling, WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, this the vibe we're dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that will feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling, WB. Get up, make every day count up. Wasted people, do your part, play around, get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in, WB. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling, WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, this the vibe we're dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that will feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling, WB. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, baby. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show my people. Believe our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, it's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to be obey. And all the things that must happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, baby. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's not so it no matter even if you're at home. Just call in, baby. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, baby. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show my people. Believe our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, it's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to be obey. And all the things that must happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, baby. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, baby. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show my people. Believe our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, it's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to be obey. And all the things that must happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, baby. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's not so it no matter even if you're at home. Just call in, baby. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling, baby. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show my people. Believe our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, it's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to obey. And all the things that we feel happen and I got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place no calling. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place no calling. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show my people. Belize our hope so to need.
All right, welcome. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's a Friday, the 27th day of March, and actually the 38th day of the 40 days of Lent. And we welcome you to the program this morning. I'm Nuri Muhammad. As you know, we go through certain steps before we get to the main course. We do have a guest coming in a little after 7:30, inshallah. But we will open the phone lines a little bit after the news at 7 o'clock to give you a chance to weigh in. If you wanted to call yesterday when we had the minister on, well, you have an opportunity to call this morning and to be able to weigh in on any issue that you would like. We have, I'm not sure who the forecaster is this morning, but let's go to our forecaster to get an update on the weather.
Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to obey. And all the things that we feel happen and I got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role. Get where you need to. Look and tune in for work.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
We apologize for that technical hiccup, but we begin with the news. A public consultation was held on Wednesday night at the Best Western Plus Belize Biltmore Plaza on the proposed $900 million cargo expansion and cruise terminal project at the government-owned Port of Belize Limited, PBL. The Port of Belize Limited made its presentation on the project's Environmental Impact Assessment, EIA, submitted to the National Environmental Appraisal Committee, NEAC, for approval. The document is 600 pages long and contains an executive summary of 15 pages. During the presentation of the EIA, Environmental Officer Kendrick Gordon shared some details of what is explained in the document.
Look at impact associated with additional impact like the provision of waste, hazardous waste, liquid and sewage waste. I know that some people are very concerned about the amount of waste that might be produced within the area, so they have to provide some form of treatment of how they're going to address that issue. It looks at the environmental consequences. It has to provide mitigation and a monitoring plan. And so the mitigation and the monitoring plans normally go within the environmental compliance plan if we were to grant environmental clearance to the project. In terms of the public consultation, and I know that some people are asking for a public hearing, but the public consultation at this moment, while it is highlighted in the legislation does speak to the department making that determination when a public consultation would be conducted. It also considers a policy, legal, and administrative framework, issues in relation to agreements, international or regional agreements. Like the ESCASO agreement, we insist that that the EIA speaks or makes reference to it, and for the EIA itself and the process to include what is required of them in that aspect. It looks
Despite
at
Gordon's specifically mentioning the ESCASO agreement, which protects people's right to environmental information and involvement in decision-making, UEF chairperson Yaya Marin Coleman argued that not enough community members were informed or consulted. Community member Wendell Lemont agreed and added that port workers in the area are concerned about their job security.
649 to 650 of UNO documents say, strong community support, 83.4% of Point Loyola residents, blah, blah, blah. Listen to this next statistics. 75.7% of the residents having little or no knowledge about the project. Now, please tell me, how somebody when I have knowledge about one project could support one project? Now, UNO guilty and never adequately make sure that Belizean people understand one complex conversation. My heart broke when I hear all them people come up here and say they support one project, you know, because I put them sit down and ask them questions, they can't answer them question, you know. And I say, uno know better, brother and sister. Uno know the people, not know the information, and only out there talk about this one good thing for Belize. I so damn embarrassed with uno right now. I so hurt that unborn Belizeans, and we want to live with this. This is the one government initiative. NEAC, the government employees, uno really think NEAC want to tell them boss, govern, uno not to run through this project? So that one conflict of interest to me. So for uno own statistics, the people that never have the knowledge. How the hell uno going through with this project and people don't have enough knowledge about it?
Sometimes we need to have these meetings in the neighborhood, you know, because a lot of people get disenfranchised. I look around this room and I see a lot of people, yes, but I could tell you the ones who are actually from Port, right? And it's not the majority, right? So then, how equal is this? How fair is it really being? Are you really hearing the concerns of the people on this scale? The people aren't here to talk for themselves, so we have to come and talk for them, right? What can we do to ensure that there is a strong commitment from the port that when everything becomes mechanized, my bedrooms, who are the stevedores, who chase the wheat, and who take the containers off of the ship, won't be at home finding something else to do, as a minister once said, right?
Maureen Coleman voiced her disappointment that the environmental NGOs failed to attend the consultation and queried the potential negative effects of the proposed dredging. Alan Herrera, an environmental expert with Nextra Consulting, who developed the EIA, addressed the effects of the dredging.
Told Trust right on article in the San Pedro Sun late last year was that dredging policies are failing Belize's marine reserve. And I could, because, well, that's why I'm disappointed that the first time I come on a public consultation and I know see this place pack up with environmental NGOs, like we're gonna with the environmental NGOs, then got the skills, the science, the research, that the word for the Yafa. So this the one big red flag when it comes to environmental NGOs. So,
and we are saying that we expect within reason that there would be some turbidity. Within reason, we'd expect that there would be, during the dredging operation, that there would be potential effect to mariners, people who are using that area with their boats. There would also be potential impacts to people who use the area at nights as well. Potential impact to traditional users in the project area, which are different from the mainstream of the users who might use the area for commercial reasons. There's also potential impacts because machinery working in the area, the dredging equipment. So there's also potential for oil spills and so on. All of those again had to be mitigated, and that was all of those potential impacts we proposed mitigation measures to address those impacts within the body of the document.
In his contribution to the 2026-2027 budget debate, Minister of Home Affairs and Area Representative of Belmopan, the Honorable Oscar Mira, spoke about policing strategy. Just 4 months after taking up the helm at the police ministry, Mira revealed his support for both a hardline stance for hardened criminal elements, but also an approach to intervention and rehabilitation for those who still choose to get back on the right path.
We do face many challenges as a society, and especially the negative impacts of gang and gun violence. We're not immune, and we understand. Let me say this here. To those that resort to gun violence, and not only so-called gangs, because they are real gangs when you analyze them, stop. Stop the shooting and stop the killing. There's only so much. There's only so much now. We'll make sure that we continue with our intelligence-led operations in Belize City and other areas, because what some of those people needed was 15 years ago, the opportunity of education, the opportunity of a home, the opportunity of not having to resort to gangs and other violence. But 15 years ago, now we have to deal with them, we have to deal with them stiff. However, we also need to recognize the importance of intervention, rehabilitation, and creating opportunities for those that are vulnerable to violence and crime. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, this budget is investing $5.3 million to support our youth anti-violence multi-sectorial program. That's our increase, Our increase, Deputy. We're serious now. We are serious in giving second opportunities. But then they wonder where we are dealing with it too.
Mira also indicated that they will continue to support and expand the Leadership Intervention Unit, LIU, which is led by community leaders. He said that the program does need reform to reach more beneficiaries. Leader of the opposition, Honorable Tracy Panton, revealed that during her reply on Monday to the Prime Minister's budget presentation that she has made several requests for the office of the Leader of the Opposition to also receive funding, given that it performs an oversight function like several other entities.
Madam Speaker, on this side of the House, we continue to be concerned by the high-level corruption that has become systemic, while oversight mechanisms are under-budgeted. As a constitutional office holder, Madam Speaker, I have written to the Office of the Prime Minister on more than one occasion to ask for basic operational support for the function of the Office of the Leader of the Opposition. Madam Speaker, just as there are allocations for the Integrity Commission, the Office of the Ombudsman, the Office of the Contractor General, the Office of the Auditor General, and the Office of the Governor General, there should be support for the Office of the Leader of the Opposition. Building a robust democracy with the necessary checks and balances depend on it. The responsibilities of the Office of the Leader of the Opposition are not political in nature. Rather, they serve as an essential constitutional oversight mechanism designed to hold the executive accountable. The government's commitment to constitutional reform, electoral reform, redistricting, and institutionalizing the gold standard for transparency and accountability seem to all have been lip service. Madam Speaker, a government that does not exercise its sacred duty to protect a citizen's constitutional rights without due process dismantles our democracy, our sovereignty, and by extension, our national identity. This should never be accepted by any of us, nor should it be normalized.
Chicken is the most consumed meat in Belize, and according to the Belize Poultry Association, Belizeans eat it at one of the highest per capita rates in the region. They note that consumption in Belize averages about 110 pounds of chicken per person annually, making chicken more than just a staple protein in households. With the recent price increase in products, we asked the Prime Minister if it should be price controlled.
Well, I think we found out that that in many instances price control does not work, and they find different ways on how it can work. So it will be difficult, but it's difficult. But if we feel that it's getting out of control and we need to step in, then we will do so.
That is our news package for this morning, the 27th day of March 2026. There's more news coming up in the program which follows us. That is the Morning Stew that comes on a little bit after 12. There's one at 3 o'clock and a full news broadcast at 5:15 on CRIM Radio. Here on XTV, we bring you the entire news package at 6 o'clock this evening. It's exactly 7 o'clock in our studio. We take a quick break, come back, and begin the conversation for today.
Informative, accurate, current information. CREM's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
I'm Randall Friesen and I manage Westwell Produce, better known as Granny's Foods. That's our main brand. So we offer high quality grains, beans, rice, and we also offer corn chips made from 100% locally grown corn. We saw a need for high quality, locally produced products. A lot of the best products are being exported, and we said, we need to keep some of the best products here in Belize rather than export everything. Atlantic Bank has helped us achieve our goals by providing the financing for us to be able to launch products faster than we would without the financing that they offer. We find that Atlantic Bank is very customer friendly, especially with small and medium-sized businesses. We find that Atlantic Bank is more than willing to go the extra mile. They try to understand your business. So when we go to Atlantic Bank with a certain need, we find that they try to develop a solution that will meet our specific need. I would encourage any small business owner to go to Atlantic Bank for their financial services. They're very friendly, and just overall, their service is excellent.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Calling. Double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Call me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Let me say quickly these things I want to say because I know we normally get calls very early. First, I want to give a shout out to Miss Kuna in Los Angeles, our sister who is a regular listener. And I know many of you in the diaspora are also regular listeners, but you don't call and say nothing. So I have to shout out Miss Kuna, who usually will tell us, listen, I'm tuned in, I'm listening like usual. So respect to you, Miss Kuna, and all the best to you. I also want to shout out the two hosts of the Naval String Connection, which has been going for several years now. This is a unique show that comes on every Thursday night. The persons who are responsible there is Aria Lightfoot, who is in the Florida area, and Bilal Morris, who is in the Los Angeles area. And their show is dynamic. We want to shout out Minister Anthony Mala and the Tourism Board, who sponsors the show and has been sponsoring the show from its very beginning. So big respect to you, Mr. Mala. You have believed in the show. You have seen the need because you are the diaspora minister, and you've seen the value of the show and you have supported it, and we appreciate that. We really appreciate that. Also want to say that respect to Minister Mira for in his budget presentation to talk a little bit about the approach that the government continues to play in attempting to deal with this issue of this neglected sector of youths on the street. And he is continuing basically what has been going on for some time, which we call, in those of us in the business, if you could call it that, the carrot and stick approach. That is, an effort is reached out to those who really want to change. The LIU is really responsible in coordinating that intervention aspect. But then there's also the stick. And the stick is for those who continue to want to be where they want to be on the street. And that is a tough stance on the part of the police. And let me tell you, even those youths themselves who are trying to change turn to the police and say, lad, man, you have to do something because them boy, especially them young one, they make we look bad. So you have to understand that it cannot just be an intervention process. It also has to be a tough love, if you want to call it that, process in trying to deal with these changes. Also want to say that this issue of the social media that we brought out yesterday, we only breached it slightly with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Francis Fonseca, and that is the landmark case that was done in the United States for charging Meta, Facebook, YouTube with influencing young people, particularly those between the ages of 10 and 15, adolescents, and the influence that this process has on influencing young people in a negative direction, sexual content. There's even charges of young people that are committing suicide because of their interaction with these images that come up. And we asked the minister, well, what will we do in the Caribbean region? What will we do in Belize? Because in fact, our children are having access to exactly the same thing because it's worldwide. So the same thing these American kids are getting, our children are also getting here in Belize, and we have to protect our children likewise. We are saying these things because we didn't get a chance to do it yesterday. Our phone rang very, very early. So let's go now to our telephone. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, Nuri. This is Sandra Coy.
Good morning, ma'am.
I'm calling on two matters. One is, the second one I'll deal with is your discussion with the foreign minister yesterday.
Yes.
And the first one I want to look at, Nuri, is this two matters that occurred at the UN. I don't know how Belize dealt with it. The first one is the vote that took place, which I mentioned yesterday, on a declaration of the trafficking of enslaved Africans and the racialized chattel enslavement of Africans as a gravest crime against humanity. That is the wording of the title of the resolution, the draft resolution. And as I said yesterday, 123 voted in favor, 52 abstained, and 3 voted against. I don't know, they don't account for the remaining members. Some members seem to have been absent. And Nuri, I wasn't sure of the wording because in the media reports they said the gravest crime. So if it was the gravest crime, that means it created a hierarchy and the enslavement was at the top of the list. But when I got a hold of the wording of the title of the declaration, I haven't yet had a chance to read the contents of the resolution. It doesn't say the gravest crime. It says a gravest crime, which is not properly structured, Nuri. You know, when you're going into this kind of war, because it's a war you're going in, it's a war for peace, it's a war for justice. You can have a war to get land and a war to get resources, and you can also wage a war for peace. But you're not going to wage it with guns and weapons and all that sort of thing. And not the American perception of getting peace. That's not peace at all. You also, if you're going to wage it with words, you have to make sure that your use of whatever language you're using to state your claim, your position is correct.
Yes, absolutely.
And that declaration is not adequately worded. Let us break it down. When as I say to you, it is a declaration of. Well, that very preposition there, I wouldn't use. Because you're making a declaration on a matter. You're making a declaration about a matter, but it's not only about. So on means this matter, you're taking a position on this matter, right? So the of I have a problem with. Now let's go to the next phrase. It says declaration of the trafficking of enslaved Africans. So what happens with the process? The process involves purchase at the exit point of Africa, transportation on the ships to the Americas, and resale of the persons in the Americas. We know that they were purchased in Africa because the manifest that exists, a massive amount of manifest show that they were not sold for money. They were sold, the exchange was goods. You see? So if you put the wording, declaration of the trafficking of enslaved persons, so you're telling me they were already made slaves somewhere. And which trafficking are you talking about? Are you talking about the trafficking in the Americas, or they are trafficking at the point of
purchase
from the place of origin as you are going to board them, load them onto the ships that you're moving them with? That doesn't convey that at all. So if we say they were enslaved when after they were purchased, then we have to assume they were free persons. Free persons until the purchasing process began. And that tells us that the purchasing process began in Africa. At least that is what I am understanding from that. The next phrase is enslavement of Africans. Now, it was a racialized process. These slaves were purchased on a particular rubric. Well, the particular rubric of the Atlantic slave trade. They were chattel, they were property, and they were Africans. So that part is correct. Now we come now to the next one where it says, a gravest crime. And I listened to the entire presentation. Oh no, sorry, it was not for that. I listened to it for another matter at the UN. I don't know the exact arguments put forward by all the European countries, but they abstained. But the American contribution, I heard that one. It seemed to have been done not by the standing ambassador to the UN, but by a special envoy sent for this special matter. Do you know?
No, I don't know. I don't know if they still have the African-American ambassador that represented the United States. I didn't see it. I don't know. I will check it out.
They recently appointed an African-American ambassador.
Yeah.
They have recently done that.
Well, no, I know that the last time I looked at the representative for the United States, she was an African-American.
I see. Well, they did that in anticipation.
Well, it would have been embarrassing. It would have been embarrassing for her to make that vote against.
It was a male that spoke this time.
All right. Well, then that means she was replaced. Yeah, she was replaced.
Anyway, so when you say a gravest crime, in all the news media that says the gravest crime. So they put it as a superlative. Now in English, if you want to indicate degrees of the adjective, you are going to say she is fat, he is fatter, and Mary is the fattest. But if the adjective has multiple syllables, you don't use beautifuler and beautifulest. You say beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. However, even with single syllable adjectives, when you use it in the way they wanted to use it, I believe this is what they wanted to say. Well, one of the things they could have wanted to say. A most grave crime against humanity, or one of the gravest crimes against humanity. But none of that is conveyed in that thing in the resolution as it is written. Do you see what I'm saying, Nuri?
Yeah, but what does it say then? Does it say the? I thought it was the gravest.
It doesn't say the, it says a.
Oh.
A gravest crime. And if you're going to use a, which is the indefinite article, then you're not doing the superlative. You're doing, well, it's a sort of superlative, but you're expressing that this thing is of a magnitude. Not the greatest magnitude as well, but of a high magnitude. Then you would say a most grave crime. So, you see, Nuri, they walk right into the trap. Well, according to the American ambassador, they tried to correct it, but the corrections were not accepted. Now, I don't know what corrections the Americans put forward, but I know they don't want to admit they didn't want to sign on to that resolution. That I know. And what worries me is there was an opening given to them to not sign on. You understand what I'm saying? So this now brings me to my own country belief. That resolution, which is an important seminal resolution, should have been given to every country to evaluate its language, its structure, grammar, syntax, everything before it goes back to the General Assembly. Don't you agree with me on that, Nuri?
Well, yes. I guess we just all emotionally jumped to the conclusion that, wow, we've never seen this before, and we didn't look at these small details as you are doing now.
No. And you want to go into any fight you go in, you should want to go in to win.
Precisely. Especially if it's law.
You're not going to win with that crowd whose language you're using in your material. It's their language. You didn't invent this language. You have your own language. They invented that language.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to use that language to win in any war against them, then make sure, damn sure, that every I is properly there. We see every word. And that didn't happen.
Yeah, important point.
I don't know what the other Europeans have said. Now that brings me to the next matter at the UN. They had a discussion on the killing of the children at the school in Iran, right? Well, at the same nonsense. It seemed to have been a Security Council meeting. So the members got up and gave their position, and then observers to their meeting were allowed to give their position. And the Europeans were divided. Let me start off with the best opinions from this. I'm going to use the first word, was Canada. Canada said among its observations that you need an impartial objective, I know they use the word impartial. Adding in, I think they said objective. All the words that mean objective, accountable, but they use the word impartial. So if Canada used the word impartial, why do you think they won't use the word impartial? Because the other countries got up and said, some of them, that they are pleased to have the United States, and they are grateful to the United States, and they are waiting for the United States to give us an analysis of the matter. But how in heaven's name, Nuri, you're going to have the person who committed the wrong investigating themselves? If that's not allowed in ordinary commonplace matters, then the ordinary commonplace is what you take to the big affair.
Precisely.
It's not to be allowed there either.
It's
and
the law.
I think Canada was trying to say, she didn't come out and say the United States impartial. Right away she said impartial. How in heaven's name the United States will be impartial? They are going to be very partial to their wrongdoing. Don't you agree?
I agree. They would not convict themselves.
Exactly. And so the European Union on this matter, some of them got up and told us that, Iran needs to pay attention to its bad behavior when it comes to human rights and all of that, thereby leading us to understand, well, we may be sorry for the children who died, but after all, then they kill their own children, so now why should we be... That's what was conveyed.
That's crazy.
You see? Yeah. That's what's coming out. I tell you, Canada's position did not come across that way. And not all the European either, but the UK came across that way. They were busy giving Iran a scolding for what happened in January without explaining what really happened in January. What really happened in January. Without explaining that Elon Musk starting said more than 50,000 receivers into Iran. And that accompanying those receivers came weapons brought in by some of them, they have been brought in by the Kurds. So you see, Nuri, when we who live in our little world, if our leadership, I don't know what they did. I didn't hear them speak. I listened to the entire presentation and I didn't hear Belize being any observer giving any position on that matter. But there were others, and I didn't hear anybody from the Caribbean either. Maybe they were there and I didn't hear them. But I didn't hear anybody from the Caribbean. Cuba was there speaking up despite the mess they're in. You see? So now, the third point in connection with this is Uganda. The chief of the military of Uganda has announced that should it appear that Israel will be destroyed or defeated in the Iran-Israeli-American war, Uganda will be joining Israel in the struggle.
Is that right?
Yes. He is the son of the president of Uganda. And there's another significant thing. There is a lady there at the ICJ who is a Ugandan and who has consistently voted for Israel. And she is voting for us. She is one of the judges for us, for our case.
Yeah.
You see? Now, I didn't know, I wasn't aware that they were planning to build a statue to Jonathan Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu's brother.
Wow.
Because he was killed, remember, in the 1974
In Entebbe.
Israeli extraction?
In Entebbe.
He was killed there, apparently.
Yeah.
And the military chief, who is the son of the president, is proposing building a memorial statue to him.
Wow.
Then, as though that were not bad, Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, and Ethiopia are all definitely Israel leading. And they said, now you see, Nuri, this is where, how could these African countries go to the UN to demand rectification of an injustice, and they
go along with it.
Are prepared to participate in an injustice with a party that was very active in the very same place they went there to vote against. We get there. We in the Caribbean get to the point where we go to a CARICOM meeting and the Americans send an envoy and we give them what they never even asked about. When people ever asked what we were prepared to give. What's the matter with us? So those people that we are seeking to fight against don't take us seriously. They don't take us seriously. You're taken seriously when you don't run no joke at all. You're taken seriously when you're neither drunk nor drunk. You're taken seriously when you don't allow your opponent to get away with anything, big nor small nor medium size. And so here now we have our African brothers lining up to go and fight the Iran-African war, the Iran-American war, Israeli-American war. Can you believe it?
It's incredible.
And on this side of the Atlantic, now I come to your discussion with the foreign minister yesterday. When I personally was very uncomfortable with the discussion. And you couldn't call in, so I couldn't tell the foreign minister. But they just had a meeting in Bogota, CELAC, the organization that was established by Mr. Chavez when he was president of Venezuela. And apparently at that meeting, I still have to look up that the records of that meeting, they reconfirmed the Caribbean and Latin America as a zone of peace. But guess what? Miss Lady from Trinidad, she's not interested in peace. She never reconfirmed because she had put in radar and all kind of things to achieve the aim of the Operation Total Eradication. Then I wanted to ask the foreign minister if at the meeting in Miami, the word lethal was thrown around. So I checked with Mo. She understood what I understood. Lethal means you're going to kill people. So have we figured out a number of gang members we will need to kill in Belize for the Americans to be satisfied with our behavior? and our participation in this operation, total extermination. Nuri, this isn't joke for me, you know, this is serious. I'm dead serious. How many people have this, in that secret meeting or that closed door meeting, I don't know what to call it, what were the commitments of the Caribbean leadership and the Latin America? What were the commitments? Because if we are going to exterminate people in Operation Total Extermination, then I take a position, fair and simple. Let's have a referendum on whether we agree to the lethal extermination of our people and how many we are going to kill. Let's have a referendum. And this time it must be a binding referendum. No referendum we can find out where we feel like, no. A binding referendum. That's a serious matter. These people have already bombed a farm in Ecuador where they said drugs were stored. Turns out it was no such warehouse, no warehouse. It was a dairy farm. Do you share this gravity, my sense of gravity about this matter, this whole situation?
Well, I certainly I share your sentiment that we're not seeing everything that's being presented, and it's obvious there are things behind. And yes, it is.
You never asked him about it yesterday?
Well, I did not ask him about that meeting, not at all. I think we didn't dig into that. We didn't dig into that.
We have to stop tiptoeing around these people. No, we might love them and they are our people. But when the time comes to die, they are not going to offer to die in the place of the people who will be sent to the gallows. They won't offer to die, Nuri. They won't offer to die. You know, I didn't know about shock and all of that held up till yesterday. But I was not able to get avocados for about 3 weeks. So I use avocados as medicine. And I thought right away as well, avocado told a friend, I said, you know what happened? It's that Mexican problem in Western Mexico that's causing that because those boys have taken charge of the avocado trade. The cartels control the avocado trade. So what is it to be part of it? It's a part of it, the whole of it, in Western Mexico. So that's why no avocados came in. Do we really think, Nuri, does the leadership of the Caribbean and Latin America really think that the gang elements in Mexico, in Belize, well, Belize is small time, but in Belize, Guatemala, Salvador, Costa Rica, the coastline, San Andres, all of you, they really think these people are just going to say, okay, I'm available to be killed? I don't think that's going to happen, Nuri. I don't even think, I know that's not going to happen. To start with, those boys know what the ruling classes of Belize and Mexico also don't know, or don't seem to want to know. That they became members and participants in the legal economy, and they have been facilitated by the very ruling classes, political and business and otherwise, in that illegal economy. They know that. They know that. They know that offshore banking appeared out of nowhere in the Caribbean. By 2000, all the Caribbean was into offshore banking. Banking, whose money and which money? Where does money come from? Mm-hmm. You see? So no, those boys are not going to offer themselves as sacrificial victims. If we continue down this road, we are going to cause the politicization of those people into political resistance structures. They don't have anything else left to die for. They will die. They are more willing to die than we are. We are afraid of dying. They as have already faced death. So I don't see, I really wish our leadership gets serious. Look at the port. Nuri, please tell me what BlackRock is doing in this country. Please tell me.
Well, they're all over the world.
Please tell me when Mr. Feinstein, I don't know Mr. Feinstein, I've never dealt with Mr. Feinstein, but Mr. Feinstein was investing, was a believer doing his investment. They never finished till they destroyed a man's proposed investment in order to do the BlackRock investment, which will be a monopoly, by the way, right or wrong, Nuri?
Well, BlackRock controls wherever they go.
They control what?
They control wherever they go, and they have a substantial control over the economies of many, many countries.
Asset management.
Indeed, but I've never heard, I did not know that BlackRock was involved in the Feinstein issue.
Yeah, in the course of discussion with Moore the day before yesterday.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that conversation.
She mentioned, she brought up the name, and as I heard the name, my ears perked up. I said, wait a minute, I was planning to call in that morning.
Yeah, I didn't know
I
that.
heard BlackRock, and then I got alarmed. Doesn't matter with us, Nuri. No. Anyway,
Thank you very much, sister. Let's go to 2 Cents Cam with Brick, and it's brought to you by Fort Point Security.
What's up, guys? Good morning. You're watching WUB on Creme Television and Creme Radio, and this is To Say Cam. All right, and we're going to find out who all want to big up on Big Up Friday.
Yeah, this is Scoot, the best barber in a Corozal. Yeah, just want to big up the whole Corozal, big up Libertad, of course, you don't know.
Yeah. Oh well, Big Up Friday, and big up my family too. My mom, I am from the Riverol family. Yeah, Big Up Friday.
All right, big up yourself, Michelle. Big up yourself.
Friday?
Yeah, we are big up.
Big up the family.
At Habet and Abet and Brothers Abet, we've always proudly celebrated Women's Month. This year, we celebrate women keeping the balance at home, at work, and in their communities. That's why all March long, all women receive 15% off store-wide, from paints to plumbing and everything in between. Plus, 20 to 65% off lots more deals on sale and clearance. With trusted experience, top quality products, and service that's second to none, we're here to support women every step of the way. Visit or call us today. Happy Women's Month from all of us at Habet and Abet and Brothers Abet, doing our part to balance the scales.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Darling, double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Call me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
Tired of appliances that just don't last? Appliances that just can't keep up? It's time for a change. GE Appliances delivers reliability, innovation, and performance you can trust. The decision is easy. Don't settle for less. Choose quality. Choose reliability. Choose GE.
I want to share why this work is so urgent. My mother is 75 years old. She's blind. She has lived by the sea for 75 years. Today, my mother cannot see the stones you guys are placing to protect her home. But she can hear. Every night she sits in her home and hear the waves beating at her door. To most people, that song is peaceful. But to my mother, the song is a countdown. It is the song of the land she loves being stolen inch by inch. For years, the song has been a dark shadow over our lives. I look at our students here today, their bright little faces. We need your help to make sure that when these children go up to be 75, they are sitting in their homes and aren't afraid of the sea.
The whole design of the T is to catch the sand as it walks past Monkey River. Literally what you see is the sand comes from the river, goes out to sea. The sea was clogged with mud and sand, so the river now pushed the sand out like it used to. One, we have less flooding. We have a lot of drainage on the way to Monkey River. The water is not there. But as you can see, we've moved the sand over. Now nature will walk it down with time.
There is an area between the burial ground and where the village is that needs some attention as well, and so it will be addressed right away since PM has approved some additional finance to continue the project in Monkey River.
I am very proud that Minister Osman Martinez, the area representative, along with Oscar Kenya, they saw the necessity, one as the area representative and one as the Minister of Rural Transformation. And then along with the support from my office that we managed to do this, showed us that we just need to put a little bit more investment and we can do the entire area. So I said, you know what, give me an estimate, we're going to do it. We are going to save Monkey River village and going to make it into one of the more beautiful villages in the country.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you been in the kitchen. Mama going back in there right now. And the coffee maker?
Just to try to keep me the coffee warm for later.
What do you do now?
I'll try to think about what to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool.
Uh-huh.
For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. For unstoppable power at an unbeatable price, make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
welcome back. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, and I want to tell Sandra how much we appreciate her. We appreciate you, sister. God bless you and keep you at the level that you are in your engagement in Belizean. And not only her, but there are many others, but I'm pinpointing her because of her input this morning. Very few people would have looked at the dot and the crossing of the T in a resolution passing in the United Nations. Callers, I'm going to ask you if you could hold the calls. We're about to have our first few minutes with our guests. If you could please give us a break. I don't know who is insisting, but we'll take the call after we've introduced. We said yesterday that we would have our brother Jerry Enriquez as our guest this morning. He has won a big step in his challenge of the government to say to the government that, listen, this is illegal what you're doing, conducting elections despite the fact that our Constitution says that we should have equal numbers or close to equal numbers in our constituency. Look at the evidence that we're not doing that. The Prime Minister said recently in response to Mr. Enriquez that it's a mute issue. We are already going to do the redistricting. I've signed the Attorney General, and so what Jerry is doing is mute. So let's start there. Welcome you, brother, and let's start with that claim that your case is mute.
Thanks very much. I could see ways in which that statement by the Prime Minister sort of tried to water down the work that we've been doing. I will say though that in his previous 5-year term, between 2020 and 2024, he had promised repeatedly to undertake the redistricting, the redivisioning of electoral boundaries, and he didn't. And therefore, we will hold him responsible and accountable until that is done. It is not a moot point because it is our efforts that got them to this stage. Prior to this, they called election illegally, unconstitutionally. This is I could say an illegal government. They broke the law, led innocent Belizeans to election, and then took power unconstitutionally. That's a serious. It is criminal what they did, and so it is not a moot point. We want to ensure that these systems are in place. Not only that the electoral boundaries are drawn, but there are the other systems like campaign financing, registering political parties, all of those accountability measures. We cannot continue to allow our democracy to be undermined by the very leaders who swear every time they take office to protect the Constitution. So I want to remind the Prime Minister to remember that he broke the law and he's in office having broken the law, and so we expect them that he will ensure no more false promises. This has to be done, and it has to be in an accountable and transparent way so that Belizeans are fairly represented in the National Assembly.
Before we take this next break, and we're going to do it quickly, and audience, let me tell you, we're going to open the phone lines right after that break so that we could engage you in this conversation with Jerry Enriquez, because we've been talking to him several times over the last few months since he, in fact, launched this case. So it's not anything new necessarily that he's going to tell us, except what the recent win was at the CCJ. But we're going to open the phone lines right after this break. But could you tell us in a nutshell, what was the latest position of the CCJ? And you said there were 3 points that they actually dealt with.
Just to cut it short, because I know you're going to break and I could expand on it.
Okay.
We filed appeal against the wasted cost because the courts in Belize wanted to charge or impose on my attorney for him to personally pay for our the cost of our going to court to fight for the constitutional right of the Belizean people for fair elections or fair representation. So the wasted cost.
Did you interpret that as some sort of a subjective kind of thing based on the fact that it alleged that he was heard saying
I could go through all that.
All right, good. We'll get that for later.
Yes. Yeah, I just wanted to encapsulate. Right. Then we could. So that I know you have an 8 o'clock break.
Yeah.
Secondly was we call it a perfected order. That means the Court of Appeals, where we're appealing the ruling of that judge, who we are also say that there was a misconduct in the trial. Mm-hmm. They said we had submitted the appeal too early. We did not go through the process of perfecting the order, even though the judge had signed on that order. And so to our shock, that technicality that we file an appeal too early and throw out a whole case, not looking at the substance.
Incredible.
And then finally we ask for the recusal of the judge. We do not want him. We do not, having seen his misconduct in our case, we do not want him involved in our other cases. So if that case had stayed in Belize, if we had just said this is the ruling of the Court of Appeals, and we could have just laid down and said, well, we just had a bad day and this was horrible for us, but we took it. We knew deep down that something is wrong in the court system in Belize. Mm-hmm. These technicalities overshadowing all the substantive issues, while you have a government railroading through an unconstitutional election. So we took it to the Caribbean Court of Justice and we were vindicated.
They saw it
right through it.
Very
and
good.
Will recommend, I guess, in their written reasoning, ways in which we could improve our system in Belize. I don't know. This system it needs a lot of reform, and a lot of people are suffering because of it.
Indeed, and I think it's precedent-setting when it comes to the region.
So that's why I see it as a big win.
Yeah.
It is out of the court system in Belize, where the judges were looking at all these technicalities to kind of brush us off, and we took it to the CCJ, and now it's open. And so
which puts a cloud over the whole judiciary in terms of, can you in fact make a judgment against government? And that's a very serious concern within the region, because many of these judges are tenured judges. Yeah. They're appointed, they're salaried by the government, and many times, and we've seen it in the past, that they judge with the idea that, maybe, and I might get caught up in a contempt of court directly, but let's take the break and then we'll come back and we'll open the phone lines as promised. For those who are calling and wish to call, you can call right after this break. Let's go.
Belize is transforming the way taxes are managed with the Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority, a modern system built on flexibility, efficiency, and accountability. SAR will have its own human resource policies, ensuring faster hiring, fairer opportunities, and competitive pay that rewards performance. The SARA will also manage its own budget, making it easier to fund what matters most: better technology, improved taxpayer services, and stronger enforcement when needed. With this flexibility comes responsibility. Independent audits, public reports, and parliamentary oversight will ensure full transparency. SARA's transparency, flexibility, and efficiency will ensure smarter decision-making, better taxpayer service, and responsible use of public funds. SARA, flexibility to serve you better, accountability to serve you right.
Rotavirus is a leading cause of severe watery diarrhea and vomiting in young children. It can lead to dangerous dehydration and hospital visits. The good news? The rotavirus vaccine is now available countrywide. It is given in drops at 2, 4, and 6 months of age. Protect your child. Visit your nearest health clinic today.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Welcome back. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We are talking with a pioneer in the effort to address unconstitutional issue of the making sure that our constituencies are equal. There's some that are far more people compared to others, and that is an illegal situation when it comes to applying the Constitution. We're now opening up the phone lines, and so you could join our conversation with our brother Jerry Enriquez. Our number here is 280-5848. Please make it a question or a short comment so that we could give our guest the opportunity to expound on the areas that he came here to do this morning. So you wanted to go a little deeper into the decision of the CCJ.
Okay, yeah. So the question that, the underlying question that guides me in all of this, before I get to that answer, is where do Belizeans turn to for justice when the very leaders who are there to safeguard our rights through the Constitution are themselves violating the Constitution? And if we turn to the courts and then they are focusing on these minor technicalities when we have these substantive issues, which has dragged this on for so long, where do we turn to?
Okay, welcome caller. Yeah, welcome, welcome caller, welcome.
Hi, I'm Mr. Enriquez.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Nicole McDonald. Last year I was charged for cyberbullying Chester Williams. I did not cyberbullying Chester. I comment on a post. Everybody commented on the post, but for me, I was targeted, you know, and I did not bully him, like call him a drug dealer. I said he's the cause of the problem. However, my constitutional rights was violated by being detained 5 days in the cell. I did not do anything wrong. I think we have freedom of speech in Belize. You know, constitutional rights to deny me my food, deny me my medication, deny me pads. You know, my kids then bring food for me while I was detained and they denied. You know, I am a single mother of 5. I know my constitutional rights has been violated in all aspects. When it comes to freedom of speech, what happened to freedom of speech in Belize? We can't voice our opinion when we see things happen in Belize now. It took the top cop to charge me, violate my constitutional rights. Then I was a matron for the government of Belize, taking care of children. You know, I lost my job after 16 years of service to the government of Belize. I was a matron for Department of Youth Service, and I got laid off without pay. They paying me 1 cent up to today.
Okay, caller.
I win my case.
All right.
I win my case, and I took the paper that I got from the court to the Department of Youth Services. Say the Governor General say I should get back my job. Unfortunately, it's been 1 whole year now. Being a single mother without a job in Belize, knocking on Department of Youth Service door, knocking on Human Services door, knocking on Women's Department door for assistance for food, assistance for health. You know, being a single mother in Belize is not easy.
Okay.
They violated me.
All right,
they
caller.
violated my constitutional rights. What can I do?
All right, we'll ask him to respond to that. Yeah.
I could feel the pain of that woman.
She's called here several times with that concern, and it has not been addressed.
Even though she's won the case in court, and there's still the almost like revenge against her for trying to get justice done. Normally, we would also take this to the ombudsman, but that office now, that the ombudsman stood up for justice, even the ombudsman was affected.
It's not incredible.
And so now we're having this.
Because he said that your case had merit to it and that the government should respond to it.
Information.
And it's strange that his contract was up for renewal, but they chose not to renew it. And it just appears that because he took that very principled stand in regards to your right for freedom of information, that he was not renewed.
And then all to say that we still have the office of the ombudsman unfilled.
Yes.
So,
well, they have said that they're going to reconfigure that and come up with a different definition for the ombudsman, that he's at the level of a judge, so they're going to bring it down to another level, but that's to be seen. Welcome, caller.
Nuri, greetings.
Greetings.
Good morning, brother Jerry Enriquez, my brother in the fight. Greetings to you. Nuri, I'll try to respect your rules, so keep it as short as possible.
Yeah, just so we could get as many people as possible, sir.
Yes, I have a lot, but listen, I don't understand how we have Rodwell Ferguson in Stann Creek West. He has about 11,000 voters. We have Louis Abanik here in Dangriga, who claims to represent us. And these men cannot speak on this and say, why do we allow this type of thing to happen? And I have one question similar in that same category, and I want to mention something about the port. Now, is there something that the government of Belize have against the South, or the Belize city political leaders have against the South? Because this has been happening for decades. Millions of dollars will be invested in the port of Belize, when statistically, historically, we know that the most suitable location for a deep water port is Dangriga, Commerce Bight. I just wanted to touch on those two to open the eyes of my own people, and maybe you and Jerry could comment on that as well. Thank you both.
All right, thank you. That's an important point, because we've been hearing that for over 20, 30 years. Why dig a port? Why dig an area when you already have a natural area of Commerce Bight?
I'm looking at even that picture. You could see the shallow waters of Belize City.
Yeah, you could see the bottom.
And there's even from before Belize was independent, long before, from the early 1900s, it was recognized that the best deep water port in the country, natural deep water, is at Commerce Bight.
But I think what he's asking is there a bias to the people of the South, much more than the geographical facts?
The South have lived this bias ever since the South was populated.
I'd like to be a part of the morning show.
Yeah, please, go ahead and make your point, sir. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you all do?
Good.
Morning.
Okay, I'd like to digress just for a small moment here.
Not too far, please.
Yeah, I promise to be in a minute. I'd like to record my charge with regarding the office of the DPM, his constituency office in Belize City. For the past year, from last year, I've been trying to get some documents from that office, and I've been lied to from the highest office holder right down to just about anyone else. From last year, I've been trying to get some documents here, like I said, I've been lied to every week. Sometimes 2-3 days a week I've been lied to. I don't live in the city. It costs me between $75 to $100 sometimes, and I do that twice per day to go there. But this week alone, I've been lied to 3 times already, and I'm told to go back today. I don't have money like that. I don't have a government vehicle. I don't have access to government fuel. These people are just so damn unprofessional. I wonder how they sleep. They have no moral compass. I thank you for your time.
All right, sir. 280-5848, and please call and direct your questions to our brother Jerry Enriquez.
Given the short time, we won't have enough time to touch all the answers of all these questions. But let me plead with this last call that there is need to upgrade, that is recognized over and over, to upgrade the services of the public service to be professional.
Yeah.
Over and over, people are complaining of inefficiencies, disrespect, and all of that. That is something to be addressed.
Welcome, caller. Welcome.
Hello, good morning, brother Nuri.
Yeah, good morning, brother.
Brother Enrique.
Good morning. Morning, sir.
Nuri, the situation with a young lady that called, it seems she won her case in the court. What is the problem for reinstate and back to a job? And the next thing is, when it comes to judges, who bring in a judge? Who choose a judge? I believe that is my belief, this is not for no show. There is serious political interference when it comes to choosing judges in this country. And I believe, I know which law firm and who is involved in bringing in judges in this country. And just why we don't get fair trial in this country, you need one board was set up to bring in these judges. You can't go a one-man show and they tell the Prime Minister like who to bring and thing. And I think this is what happen in this country. Because I think over and over where this particular person that they talk about, when the case got to go quick and he get all kind of decision in your favor, where they're way off. Serious. They're way off. Especially with this case, Brother Enrique. This is not a fair case. This is where constitutional right has been breached with the redistricting and redivisioning. And so what happened? This brother have to fight, and they fight mostly by own. You see? It's sad, but I believe there is serious inside political interference in our justice system. Have a great day, Brother Nuri.
All right, sir.
Thanks very much.
You know, it's been a long years of complaint about the fact that these judges that work on the tenure it's a kind of almost a speakeasy. And I have to be careful, as you know, because they come and arrest me too. Because somehow it's written in the law that you can't paint them in ill repute. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying the reality is look at the process and look at the decisions. And it's very few against the government. It's always in favor of the government.
And he raised a very fair question. Definitely. I just have to leave it at that. But that's a very fair, profound observation and a question that he's raising.
Indeed, indeed.
And then with regard
280-5848 is the number here. 280-5848. You can call and ask your question of Mr. Enriquez. Yeah, welcome, caller.
Yes, morning, Brother Nuri, morning, Brother Jerry.
Hey, morning, Will.
Congratulate you for staying the course and not giving up, you know. I mean, like, this is a very important thing for all of Belize. And every Belizean, I hope that when everybody Belizean pass and see the dread, they give us a salute. Because, hey, man, you know, we've been at this for like going like 10 years, you know, and like you know that like a relay race, right? When you go like the peace movement had a lot of we, and then Jerry pick up the baton and you finish the race, Jerry. So we just want like like thank you publicly for all the efforts that you have made.
Yeah.
To make sure that we see this through, and this I hope that the rest of Belize and Belizeans see this, see what Jerry have done and realize that look, the fight now we need a 1 day or 1 week, you know, like when we fight the Gillnet, it took us 20 years to get it banned. So it takes a long time for some of these fights, and I just want to tell the Belizeans we need to have stamina, anything like a marathon, you know, and we have to like stay the course because there are so many battles out there that we are fighting. Yeah. And some people just give up, you know, and just can't be one group of people, you know, to fight. It can't just be Jerry. It just can't be Nuri. You know. Other groups they will need to fight. Like for you know. I know that the unions are in support of the case that Jerry have there. But let's feel it. Let's feel it in the streets, brothers and sisters. You know, we just can't give lip service because the union is a very, very powerful body. Yeah. We need to take a page from the Norteños. Then, brother, you see recently, all the 4 different organizations, they come together as one. Yeah. They will get for them money for ESR, okay, what happened? You understand? That, like, you know, they know I give up. the cartel telling you, give them $1 million. No, man, that's not so. Then they make them no plane. So I just want to know why the Caneros have so much, like, you know, so much fortitude. And then we, like in the South, family city down then seems to just like, hey, you know, okay, yeah, nothing. No fuel price down up $2.50 per gallon. I hardly hear anybody say anything. That Guatemala right now, things they get like the other raise the price by 50 cents.
Yeah.
And watch out, traffic stop.
Look all over Europe. I mean, look all over Europe right now.
You know, I mean, so what go on with we people? We just want to stop here and take it and take it and take it. You know what I mean? Like Belizeans, we need to really get up and like really speak up. I mean, this raising these the prices just so out of control. But I don't want to get off the topic. I just want to get back to Jerry. And you see, like there are a few people who have paid a price along with Jerry. The guy sure you're not getting no consulting job, my brother. You know, a brilliant consultant. And I know you're not getting no consulting job. Not even from the NGOs, because we live on the side and they're afraid for people like we.
Yeah.
You know, people are afraid to, like, you know, deal with activists. I mean, and that's wrong. I believe that we need to change that attitude if we're going to, like, progress and make our country a better place. I mean, the ombudsman, I have to applaud him because he took a step in the right direction and he sacrificed his job. The guy could tell you, if he ever, like us, the government say, like, you know, take on Jerry case, look, he may have still did it. You see, so that was sacrifice he made, and we make some sacrifices, but all Belizeans need to make the sacrifice. The brother who just called from Riga, man, look here, he didn't do it, he tried to fight, but we all the rest of the smart PhDs and masters and people from Riga and the South in a whole, well in there, they didn't even write one letter. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to show me hand, you know. Look here, you could write, you don't have to let up front or center like Jerry. You could, like, begin to write your stuff and show why Commerce Bight is better than the Belize City Port. Why is it? But we don't have any brilliant minds that we have here in the South. You know, so I just hope that their minds wake up, because you're right. Commerce Bight is like a whole lot better. So why has anybody, like, you know, like these brilliant minds that we have, like, say, okay, you know what, government, please, let's at least do the feasibility study and see which one is better. Oh, no. That don't seem to go to work in this country. It's like Minister Abbas, Minister make the decision, nobody challenge us. No, man, we need to challenge these things. And again, I call on all Belizeans, let's wake up, Belizeans. Let's wake up and speak up, man, you know. I mean, let's just do it.
All right.
So, Jerry, again, congrats and thank you very much. I don't want to really take up no more time. I have a lot more to say, but let me give other people a chance.
All right.
Thanks very much. Thanks. And I have to also, we cannot forget the Belize Peace Movement, who was with this case for quite a while.
Yeah, started the process.
So,
yeah, indeed.
Really have people remember.
And going way back, I don't call no name, there were people who, even before the Belize Peace Movement picked it up, that was saying, look, something is wrong.
Right.
We need to address this matter, and that was over 20 years ago, you know. So
I was watching all that painfully, and so that's why I decided to jump in, definitely.
All right, we'll take this call and go to our next break. Welcome, caller.
Yes, good morning once more, gentlemen.
Yeah.
As we are on the topic there of this redistricting, it is in the, before I go any further, it is accepted and in the law that village councils are non-partisan, right?
Yeah, it should be non-partisan.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Great. So then, somebody needs to sue the election and boundaries department to preside over illegal electioneering in terms of the village council elections. So all those villages that had village council elections are illegal or unlawful and are operated unlawfully. So somebody needs to sue the election and boundaries department. And thank you for your time.
All right, sir. Jerry, hold on to your... all right. Yeah, welcome, caller. All right, let's take this break, and then we'll come right back and keep the lines open.
I want to share why this work is so urgent. My mother is 75 years old. She's blind. She has lived by the sea for 75 years. Today, my mother cannot see the stones you guys are placing to protect her home. But she can hear. Every night she sits in her home and hear the waves beating at her door. To most people, that song is peaceful. But to my mother, the song is a countdown. It is the song of the land she loves being stolen inch by inch. For years, the song has been a dark shadow over our lives. I look at our students here today, their bright little faces. We need your help to make sure that when these children grow up to be 75, they are sitting in their homes and aren't afraid of the sea.
The whole design of the T is to catch the sand as it walks past Monkey River. Literally what you see is the sand comes from the river, goes out to sea. The sea was clogged with mud and sand, so the river now pushed the sand out like it used to. One, we have less flooding. We have a lot of drainage on the way to Monkey River. The water is not there, but as you can see, we moved the sand over. Now nature will walk it down with time.
There is an area between the burial ground and where the village is that needs some attention as well, and so it will be addressed right away since PM has approved some additional finance to continue the project in Monkey River.
I am very proud that Minister Osman Martinez, the area representative, along with Oscar Kenya, they saw the necessity, one as the area representative and one as the Minister of Rural Transformation. And then along with the support from my office that we managed to do this, showed us that we just need to put a little bit more investment and we can do the entire area. So I said, you know what, give me an estimate, we're going to do it. We are going to save Monkey River village and going to make it into one of the more beautiful villages in the country.
My name is Mrs. Esther Smith. I'm a co-owner of A Glimpse of Paradise gift shop here at Altona, booth number 13. And me and my husband have to offer some of the most finest wood products here in Belize, all hand done by him. And these products are made from some of the most beautiful, finest and hardest wood here in our country. I first started at Atlantic Bank as went there to start a saving account. From there, I have my checking account with the POS machine. And then it becomes more like a family to me because there are personnel from Atlantic Bank that will always come here, check with us, make sure everything is okay, clean our machine, and they will always ensure that we have abundance. My advice to anybody that wants to choose Atlantic Bank to be their bank is that don't be afraid. You won't have any regret. Atlantic Bank, you will find them to be very efficient, reliable, and competent.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Hey, that's a train.
Me too.
You lost the train.
Me too.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Bomb City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'm saying I help you out right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
welcome back. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Our guest is Mr. Jerry Enriquez. He has just gotten a precedented, you would say, position by the CCJ on his case against the government of Belize in what we call a redistricting, not so much redistricting, but what's the best legal term? Redivisioning. It's making the constituencies more equal, which is embedded in our constitution that it should be done every 10 years. Can you go into some of what your the position was? You've given us the three of them, but what
some
are
of the questions that weren't answered, like the village council concern?
All right.
I just wanted to mention that it is unfortunate that even at the village level you have this kind of divisive politics, when it ought to be that villagers select the best leaders to run the council. But even at that level, I would like to caution the villagers not to get too bogged down into dividing each other over political party alignment. But however whatever party they belong, just find the best leaders for your
Which is council, the way it used to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Now it has been so politicized.
It has become politicized.
It is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then there's the issue, I want to go back to that young woman who also spoke about her experience going to court, winning the case, and then can't even find a job. It is, you have big people breaking the law. The law seems to be against the poorer people. It finds ways to frustrate them. When you have big, just like the government right now, they broke the law and are still in power. Whereas this young woman uttered something on the social media, dragged to court, she won the case because of our rights to freedom of speech, but still punished. And then you have these others breaking the constitution and they're getting away with it over and over and over. Just throwing that out to show that there's that kind of a disparity in our justice system that really clamps down on the poorer class. Now the Port of Belize. Cyril Uruwe raised that question a little while ago. And his question goes to the heart of why is it that over and over decisions are made mainly by the Belize City oligarchic class that undermines or does not take into account the national good. If you have a natural deep water port at Commerce Bight, little to no dredging, you could bring in cruise ships. All the feasibility studies could be done to show, it hasn't been done, I am not aware of it, but if you look at environmentally, if you look at it by engineering standards, if you look at it in every measure, that area at Commerce Bight it has a natural comparative advantage to dredging millions of cubic feet of sand in Belize City. That will have consequences not only for Belize City, but further down the coast. But there's this insistence again that a port has to be in Belize City. It doesn't have to. If you look at a national picture, look at the comparative advantage of each area, and then you develop that. But I don't know if we've not moved beyond that. This politics tend to override.
But isn't it true when you look at it technically and you look at it in a pragmatic, realistic way, that the infrastructure necessary to run a port at the magnitude of the kind of commerce that we're dealing with now, that you're literally talking about millions and millions of dollars to create the kind of infrastructure. Yes, we have the natural port, we have the natural deep water, but it is not just about deep water, it's also about that infrastructure which this port in Belize City does have, but is not in existence there. So just merely bringing the ship there, once you start dealing with the onshore operation, there's a lot of work that has to be done in order to capacitate that area to accommodate such a project in itself.
Except that with the infrastructure that is currently here, you still have to dredge. You're causing more destruction. You're dredging a huge amount of seabed just to unnaturally create that part. So there's a give and take. But I would say a deep feasibility study needs to be done. I think the conservation organizations and all of them need to also lend their own.
And if we're going to develop Belize, don't we need more than one port?
Definitely, and we need more than. We need to look at it from a broader perspective. You can't say, well, we want. I will just use this as a kind of a crazy example. You know that if you have more fertile soil in the south, so you plant bananas there and you plant citrus there, you can't say, well, let us rearrange the environment in Belize City to plant bananas. That would be. So I'm using that in kind of an analogy.
Do you feel that we do enough consultation? And I use this because there was, and I'm talking about both governments now, because we've talked, say, many, many years ago, and I mean, we are showing our age when we talk like this, that having that kind of, everybody should be, we used to say, around the same table, then we started to say everybody should be under the same tent, but then we started to say you have to show us your card before you come around the table. The UDP was very famous for that. You can't get nothing done unless you don't want UDP. We don't want you, if you're not a UDP carry card member. This administration seems to be opening up and saying we want to show a little bit more equity, but we still don't have, like I said to the minister yesterday, we don't got poor people around the table at all. We talk about we want to use a part of this $125 million that's coming in education, and he says a part of that will be used for addressing this issue of these youths on the street, which is really about psychological change and economic change. It's not a police problem as much as it is that psychological issue and that proper training and economic development issue. But you can't have people who are not feeling it to be around the table. You gotta have people who are feeling it to be around the table. And so you can't have a discrimination to say, oh, they're not smart, they can't, well, they could do that, except complain. So it's a kind of, you still got that bakra thinking about us. You still think that we're not qualified to make opinions. The only opinion we got that when we reel up and call radio shows and talk about this one, talk about that. But you don't have ordinary people. That's why I respect Yaya, because Yaya is a voice of ordinary people at these forums. But she remarked on Wednesday, when he looked wrong, you know, see nobody like she stand alone. And so we need to expand the concept of consultation to not make it a clustered thing. We could say, yes, we did do consultation, but who you consult with? One elite group of people who really know in the field some of what you need to implement. I'm saying that, Jerry, now to say, because we're almost at the end, that one of the things that I see with you, and I've always admired it and respected it, is that you have a kind of a spiritual, without church, without dogma, without orthodoxy. You don't belong to a structured situation, but you're very much into depending on a higher source for guidance. And we seem to, like yesterday, Sandra said, she always believed in that idea that you have to be willing to give your life. You know, you remember that Patrick thing up the States where they say, give me liberty or give me death. Right. We not got them kind of, I want to give me life for where I believe in anymore. We are very skeptical. Boy, if this thing will hurt me, or if they take away my scholarship, or if they make I lose my job, I better not say nothing. But you have moved forward fearlessly. As Will said just now, there are kind of jobs that you should be given as a consultant. But you know I get it, because he dares to challenge the emperor. She dares to tell the emperor, you no got on no clothes in this issue here, man. You're naked. You're not following the Constitution. And so I'm saying to you, my brother, that to a large extent they have punked us out. They have allowed us to tell us that we're about freedom, justice, and equality. But when you step up to the plate, they'll deal with you. They will have secret meetings as well. How we contain this, Jerry, now? How we make sure that he can get upstart, you know? Look how far he try carry this case now. Look, he try embarrass me and they talk about the CCJ and all that. How we contain Jerry? Instead of saying, boy, you're right, you know, we fool wrong with this thing too long, and so I come out as the Prime Minister, I want to call you, I want to have the Attorney General call you and say, brother, let's withdraw all this. Please sit down on a committee with us, because we are doing exactly what you're doing. We know that we're dreamland if we think that will happen.
There's a phrase in the national anthem that we sing mindlessly over and over. Our manhood we pledge to thy liberty.
Yes.
So where is that manhood if we're just trying to live this? You know, a lot of people. Go ahead.
Yes, Brother Collymore. Welcome, brother.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Have you guys ever thought that the emperor walked out naked?
Yeah, especially in the styles that people got nowadays, boy. I think.
Yeah, because if you tell her he's naked and you don't listen, he probably walk out naked. But Brother Nuri, on a positive note, I met a guy who I lost all ounce of respect for. One of my cousins named Jasid Avila. And the man gave me one book, one newspaper from the Nation of Islam, from the 26th of February. And I said, why this Balear give me this thing? Anyway, he gave me the thing and I put it down and I said I wouldn't read it. But Brother Nuri, I need to know where I could get the March edition of that thing then, because I like what I'm reading. I didn't know that. He said, what? God in God liberty? I don't remember what the name of the thing right this minute. I got it right for me. That's wooden on my truck, though. But what a good read, man.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. I had never thought about the Muslim religion or what they're about then. I thought they were just about, with a Muslim and blah, blah, blah. I never knew that they were into farming, they were into this, man, it was amazing to read. I haven't finished the whole thing, but what I called and I tried to get a number for tell you the excitement we in America. I don't know if you watch the movie, The Lunatic, and we saw so when they hear the word, it make my ears ring. It make me ears ring. Well, this book, this
newspaper
has opened my eyes, and I have seen the light.
Yes, sir.
I want to see the light. You can't get blind again, brother.
Yes, brother.
You can't.
Indeed.
But watching what's happening around the world, especially in
that
Iran.
newspaper, by the way, is called The Final Call. We used to have it here in Belize, but very few have it now. Efforts should be made to get that newspaper back on the streets of Belize. Go ahead, brother.
But I want to tell you something, brother. Watching what's happening around the world. You know, we grew up believing that the Indian was the bad guy, the cowboy was the good guy. You know? And seeing what's happening today, I was having an argument with somebody last night, and I did tell her. I said, well, Iran not going to bomb Doha and Dubai. We are being told to hate Iran. We are being set up just like how we hated the Russians, how we hated everybody with them wanted us to hate. Because we saw the TV and that's what they were singing, and we sang Kumbaya along with that. But today, one thing about the internet, it has opened our eyes. You can't just give me that sham there. You understand me? Because when I look for Al Jazeera TV, I see a whole different news than what I see on CNN. And even though I love CNN, I grew up on CNN, I cut my teeth on CNN, why CNN has failed me. They cut me deep, they shocked me. Because even though they are critical, they're kind of one-sided. You know, they don't really give you the whole story. You know, you get for them polished version when they want you with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, brother Nuri, I don't want to hold the line because I call Moses and I tell her, the people ever call and not get the point. Man, get off the point, man. Make the point, get up and go.
Yeah.
Not that they hang up the tired way. Yes. Anyway, brother Nuri, I'll talk to you later.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Kalimor.
If you see what strange call, they call you than me.
All right, good.
All right, brother Nuri.
All right, my brother. Take care. All right, Jerry, we're close to the end, but we have to give the calls.
Okay.
Welcome, caller.
Hi, morning.
Morning, sir.
Nuri.
Yes, sir.
I think I want to get the health people in on your show with the sort of equal question there. Just like how we put it to this young man that's on the show.
Yes, sir.
Because this where they want prescriptions, no make no sense somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Especially one for the chronic sickness thing.
Yes, sir.
So I want to ask you, all right, yeah, to make the Ministry of Health come and show you the bigger question then why that reason why they want prescription for asthma pump for metformin and so for your sugar and anything there and pressure. Why you need that for that? If you want to do that, like where I'm here on call us either you give them a prescription for a year or for 6 months.
Yeah.
Because people don't have time for this up and down. Each time your medicine done to go back to go get one prescription.
Yeah.
So that's my call for this morning.
All right, my brother. Good. And you're making a good point. A lot of people complain about this new rule. You could understand a part of it because people have misused it. Some pharmacies have misused it. But then it's hurting a lot of people because you can't go back, especially with, as you said, your asthma pump, your metformin, and some of these things that we're normally able to get without prescription. But you should be happy to know that Minister Bernard, the Minister of Health and Wellness, has committed to me that he will be on the show next week. So inshallah, next week, Thursday, he should be here and we will open the phone lines just as we're doing today to give you a chance to call and ask your questions. Jerry, we run out of time, but I know we say we are open the line. I'm sorry, right?
Okay, then we could wrap up.
We have to say this is the last call. Welcome, caller. Welcome.
Morning.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get to the talk show?
Yeah, you're up on the talk show now.
Okay. But if I wake up, Billy?
Yes, sir.
All right. But I not in order to address the call.
But allow me to talk to you now.
Okay. Oh, so this one. All right. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
The situation is this, right? I have an issue with 3 forgeries for 21 years, and unfortunately, the police don't want to deal with it. It seems as though whenever the lands department, along with whoever, make forgeries, that becomes a civil matter and not what we call a police matter.
Okay.
I took it to the police department 2018 and they refused to deal with it. So I have been through a whole lot, hired so much attorneys, 21 years past, we're still at a court waiting for mediation again.
But I don't know exactly what is your case. Maybe you could put it in a nutshell. What is your case?
In a nutshell, like this, I need Elton Ordinate.
All right.
And along with Miss Moore, we built a property in Belama.
Okay.
And we went to Supreme Court and had division of assets. But while I was doing that, the other parties were doing a forgery to transfer the property to delude me of what my share of it.
Okay.
In 2007, I got a court order from the Supreme Court, 50% is mine. But even though it is mine, 50% is mine, the parties who have taken over the property took it over with 3 forgeries. And when I say forgeries, this was done in the lands department. They created one document the 5th, paid for it the 9th, got the valuation the 9th, and registered it on the 1st of November 2004. They made an application for the land certificate on the 9th, paid for it the 9th, and got that registered the 1st. the land certificate was also made the first, and now they disappear the whole file and cook the book, and even the previous landowner certificate, Ms. Moore certificate, is registered the 1st of November 2004. So I mean that Lands Department is still cooking the book. And unfortunately, the Lands Department will not prosecute the people involved, and the police department will not prosecute them either. I have posted this on Facebook. The whole thing, you go to Elton Adinet on Facebook and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
All right.
So, this, what we talk about corruption at its highest, for some reason, it looks like even in the court you can't get justice because then the player, some of the attorneys involved the player, and that's why they denied 21 years. And I have proof of such. Unfortunately, it looks like you can't blast everybody up, please, because it becomes a war zone and then you get vindicated. Like, I don't know if Belizeans realize our history is based on the diaspora leaving this country from the beginning of time because of the vindication they do to our people. In my case, I lost 90,000 21 years ago in a poverty, and where parties want to end. They don't want to talk no violence, they don't want to talk this, but every man have the right to war. You war with prayers, you war with law, you war with whatever, and they will not bow to none. So what we supposed to do to get justice now?
All right,
that is my question.
All right, then, sir. I can't answer your question, but you got a chance to raise it once again. 20 years is a long time. All right, sir? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Jerry, we won't take any more calls because they keep coming in. We need to give you a chance to say anything that you may have on the agenda.
Well, you raised a question, a very important point about when you take on these kinds of struggles for justice. You have to be beyond you. It cannot be an intellectual level kind of engagement. And I think a lot of the dilemma that we continue to face is that even the intellectuals feel satisfied. It's almost like their minds become numb and they will not take on. And that includes like the Bar Association. They get comfortable, and I know that they're there through the investment of people's money and their political alignments in the first place, and therefore they cannot rock the boat. Others with high levels of intellectual achievement, it is showing the point. What I want to make is that there is much more to the mind than intellectual achievement. Some people feel like once you get there, you're comfortable and that's it for life. And that's a dangerous place to be when they're so comfortable while things around are crumbling. Will Mejia raised the question, what are they doing? And
including the unions.
Including the unions. So people go through an education system climbing a kind of a ladder of academic achievement and then contribute nothing really to society but want to get more for themselves. And there's no contract to say, what can I do to make our society better? And so that is a lacking piece in the education system. The education of the mind and the spirit, and to make a person more whole, so that when you're taking on these challenges with courage, you're grounded by something more than just an intellectual accomplishment.
Indeed.
And that is the missing piece in the development of our country and many nations.
Yes,
when that part is lacking, we can see the destruction in the world right now, because the human mind, the human spirit, the might of truth, being able to stand up with courage, those things are lacking. We used to see that even in the formation of this institution, which I'm proud of, WUB Educational Foundation. We see people rising up fearlessly because they're not infected by the kind of ego trip that having intellectual academic accomplishment can bring. So just to say that we have to move beyond the intellectual, we have to have that social conscience, we have to have that connection with a deeper source through our meditation, and find ways in which to project that to make the necessary changes for the good of others.
That's a powerful, very powerful lesson that you're giving there, and a powerful lesson to end our program with today, because in fact, You know, I understand the story of that man who had his interests grounded in him wanting to do business. He was on his way. He was occupied on his way to Damascus, or I think, no, it was Jericho he was going. And he saw the man on the wayside. And he realized that if he passed this man and placed his business as more important, that it would have been a contradiction. Because here, if I believe in God, how could I pass a need and focus only on my own selfish need?
Exactly.
He looked around and everybody else was just simply passing them because all the others were passing this man in need. But something in his conscience stopped him, and he said, no, I need to address the concern of this man that is on the road that needs attention. So before I go on, let me find ways in order to help him, find some people who could take care of him, and then I will proceed on my journey, and when I come back, I will still check with him. Exactly. So that it's not just a passing thing, it's important. So I see that you call it intellectual. Many of us get caught up in what we're trying to do, and we look at the need of the poor, the people who are the injustices around us, and we justify it by saying, well, I want to deal with that when I get some time. When I don't get where I want, then I want to come back and help you, but I don't really got no time to try to do that now. Jerry, you have pursuit of your happiness. You're trying to reach where you're trying to reach to, as many of us are trying to reach, but you stop. And you said, no, this thing is important enough for me to say something about this. I need to do something about this. We're going to come off right now, Brother Cliff. So I'm just saying that the mind change that we have is not more education.
No.
It's not that, boy, if all of we make on a college, we would think like this. Or, boy, if I make more money, I would be thinking like this. There's something deeply inside of us. We call it spiritual, but we don't really mean religion, and we don't really mean church. We don't really mean masjid. We talk about a transformation inside that makes me distinguish between injustice and non-injustice. I'm feeling I'm talking to you. I'm feeling this idea, because that to me is what that idea of passing the man on the roadside, seeing the need and being willing to stop when everybody just said, boy, I don't got time for that. I stopped and I said, something is wrong here and we got to address this. Even more important than me just going on my business. You stop. And in a way, as Will said, you're paying a price. Because how dare he stop? We left that, you want to deal with that later. How dare he stop? Well, you stop. And you're going to be, in a way, and I could bring Sandra into it. I could bring Yaya into it. These are people who stopped and say, wait a minute, we can't just go on like everything is not all right.
At the end of life, though, people must recognize that it is not all this material wealth and all these accumulations of material that is important, but what have you done to make life better for all? And that is the lesson that we learn from all these great spiritual leaders. Indeed. It is not about what does it profit anyone to be hoarding money and material and all that and then lose yourself. So it is important to ground yourself. The greatest grounding you could have to start with is yourself. Indeed. Deepen your awareness of all your thoughts, your emotions, your feeling, deepening all the sensations around, deepening your awareness and grounding yourself. That is the missing link. We're putting too much emphasis on academic knowledge, yes, but the deeper awareness, brings a new strength, courage, and all of those things, so that you see life as part of a journey, and you're contributing as best as you can, coming from the deepest awareness that you have as to what you can do to make life different. And it doesn't come just from, that is why people who are so accomplished academically also are not necessarily emotionally intelligent. They could cause the greatest disruptions even in their companies, in their organizations, and all of that.
And the world.
And the world, because we overvalue these academic things. So deepen yourself, ground yourself, try to get rid of all the distraction of alcoholic consumption that numbs the mind, use of drugs, a lot of soft drinks, bad food. All of these things destroy the person, and then they were not strong enough to be able to take on these challenges of life. So on that note, we could go on and on, but
we certainly can. Thank you, Jerry Enriquez, for being with us this morning as you come and share with us not only your circumstance there, but your path.
Thanks very much.
And that is very, very important. We're going to end with this and take our last break as we exit this morning. We thank Jerry for being here, but mostly we thank those callers who called in and engaged us this morning in the show. We hope that you've been able to benefit from what was said. We hope that you'll continue to support our brothers, even with your prayers, that he succeeds in this mission, because the mission is not about him, but it really is about us. And we want to thank Anthony Grant downstairs in simulcast. Upstairs we had Miss Thompson as our MCO this morning, and of course Cliff Lewis was here as is usual. So Belizeans, remember more than ever to stand strong and to stand firm and to remember to do the right thing. For now, we go!
The Belize Tax Service has been serving the country well since its inception. But like many tax administration systems worldwide, it faces new challenges that require modern solutions. The Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority, SARA, will be established by legislation that will modernize how Belize administers taxes. Countries across our region, Jamaica, Barbados, and Guyana, have undertaken similar efforts at modernization, and were using their experiences, successes, and challenges to design a SARA specific to our tax landscape. SARA will operate under the Ministry of Finance with an advisory board comprised of experts in finance, tax, law, and public administration who will provide sound guidance while maintaining the required oversight of public funds. SARA will provide the framework for modernizing tax administration, improving the way we serve taxpayers, and supporting Belize's development. A semi-autonomous revenue authority, SARA, will create opportunities for improving human resource management, accelerating digital transformation that reduces turnaround time and paperwork, and providing more responsive customer service while maintaining strict accountability standards. SARA, a progressive tax administration for a modern Belize.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Calling. Double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Cause me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
I'm Randall Friesen and I manage Westwell Produce, better known as Granny's Foods. That's our main brand. So we offer high quality grains, beans, rice, and we also offer corn chips made from 100% locally grown corn. We saw a need for high quality, locally produced products. A lot of the best products are being exported, and we said, you know, we need to keep some of the best products here in Belize rather than export everything. Atlantic Bank has helped us achieve our goals by providing the financing for us to be able to launch products faster than we would without the financing that they offer. We find that Atlantic Bank is very customer friendly, especially with small and medium-sized businesses. We find that Atlantic Bank is more than willing to go the extra mile. They try to understand your business, so when we go to Atlantic Bank with a certain need, we find that they try to develop a solution that will meet our specific need. I would encourage any small business owner to go to Atlantic Bank for their financial services. They're very friendly, and just overall, their service is excellent.
We lost the train.
Me too.
For any project, big or small, Best Screws provide strength, efficiency, durability, and affordability. Get the screws specifically designed for your next project. Get Best Screw, the power to build, the strength to last. Available at Denny's. Quality and savings.
Reason. Nobody feel left out is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to be obeyed. And all the things that must happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up.